Hello again, everyone, and welcome back again for another video. What we're going to do today is something special for me. Today is the day. What day is it? It's the day that I'm actually going to upgrade my own personal computer. I've done all these other computers the last few years, but I've kind of neglected mine. So, um, as you can see, I kind of got my desk cleaned up here because I'm going to need the room. But there's mine that I got for now. That's my Deep Cool Matrix 55 computer. I'm gonna do some upgrading in that. That's got a 2700X in it. It's got 32 gigs of RAM, GTX 1080. Pretty old. I mean, I got that 2700X back when they first came out, and if I remember right, that was like 2018, I think, when those came out, 19, something like that. So that's kind of how old mine is. It's about 3 or 4 years old now. When my kids have got their stuff, which is a lot better shape than mine. But anyways, yeah, all those builds that I've done over the years, and I've neglected mine, so it's time to quit neglecting it. And so I'm actually going to the AM5 platform. I mean, I could have went with like the 5800X or the 5800X 3D, but I figured, I was eventually going to go into the AM5 platform anyways, and I actually wanted to move my son up to the AM5, so that's why I decided to move myself to the AM5. But here we got a Ryzen 7 7700X CPU that I'm putting in here. I've got 64 megs of RAM that I'm putting in here and a 2 terabyte hard drive. The motherboard is a Gigabyte B650 Aero G. Let's pause here a second and let's discuss why I got this motherboard. So real quickly here, just to show you how I came up with the motherboard that I'm going to use in my personal build, that actually came down to the audio that I use. I use a Sony 5.1 surround sound DAC for my audio. If you've ever seen like my Sony speakers there hanging on the wall next to my monitor. But anyways, so I needed a fiber optic output on mine. So what I did is I just went onto Newegg and I went down to the back IO port section and went to the drop down for audio ports, and I just chose the SPDIF coaxial out and clicked apply. Now, as you can see, there's only 5 boards here to choose from that actually offer that type of connection. So more than likely, when I do my son's upgrade, I'm probably going to use this board. The main reason I went with the board that I did is really the more white to silver looking outer area here on the board for aesthetics. But otherwise, if price wise, if I wanted to save some money here, at least $70, I would have went with the B650M or Elite, which does offer, of course, let's look at these back panel, the fiber optic. Plus, it does have Wi-Fi on it. I ain't going to use Wi-Fi, but I do need Bluetooth, of course, so, it's good to have that on there. So, yeah, I always look for that, too, Wi-Fi on a board. Even the cheapest A520, if you're still building on that platform, look for something with Wi-Fi. Always comes in handy. But anyways, enough of that. Let's get back to the build. All right, so as you can see, I got the CPU in, I got the memory in, I got my SSD in underneath that one. About ready to put this into the motherboard. Now, one of the nice things I like about this board is that it has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 different ports on there for fans, which is nice. So that means I'm not going to have to use a commander on this one. I've got definitely enough places to plug in the fans. I'm going to have 7 fans going on here, plus the pump. So that's going to be 8 total right there. I'll have just enough, which is just perfect for me. I'm liking this board. I'm liking the looks of it a lot here. I'm liking the features. But anyways, let's pause here and let me whip out the case that I'm gonna put this into. Okay, so the case I chose is actually the Phanteks G360A. Pretty decent case here. There's no need for me really to go over this. There's probably like 100 videos on YouTube about this case. Um, Main reason I got this is because I really, really like Phanteks. My daughter's case is, of course, the P500A, and I loved building in hers. And I kind of like that little RGB strip that she had going on in the front here. This one's got it too. It's just not as cool as hers is, but it's got it. Comes with 3 RGB fans. I'm of course going to pull these out, put a different kind of fan in here. Um, Back of it, of course, you can strap things down. Like I said, I'm not going to go over this case because there is a zillion other videos here on YouTube about this case. But this is what I'm going to use. This should fit my new Ryzen quite well here. This is an ATX case, of course. Should have plenty of room for my graphics card and plenty of room to work around. Now, one of the things I like about this case, just like the P500A, is you could take the screws out right here and on the back and on the sides and stuff here and pull this entire top off if you need to access it to get to your wires, which is really makes, the building a lot, hiccups, a lot easier in this. So, but anyways, let me cut this scene here, go ahead and get my board inside, and we'll carry on with this build. Alright, so I've gotten pretty far with it, as you can see. I mean, it's done, I guess. You could call it done. Not 100%. I have the video card in, and I'm testing that, of course, and it's all running fine. What I'm debating is whether to mount this vertically or not. I kind of want this to show off a little bit more. And I'm thinking maybe if I route it down this way. See, what I did is I took the hard drive cage that goes right. Let me back my camera up a little bit here. The hard drive cage that goes right about here, and I moved it over to there so that you see this little cage is actually right before that fan there, which is nice, which gives me a little blockade so that when I run these through, I don't have to come in from down below here. I don't know if I can get that on the camera or not. I don't have to come in through here. And see, the power supply I'm using actually is not the one that's going to go in this computer. I'm taking the one out of my old computer. That's actually the only part that I'm carrying over is the power supply. The one that's in here now is just my testing one that I'm using just as I'm situating everything in here. Of course, I got all my fans hooked up. It's all Corsair stuff. I got my Lian Lee Strimer pluses in here synced up along with the Phanteks strip at the bottom. Everything's all synced up, and I'll show you how that looks here in the back here in a minute. Like I said, I still got to debate whether I'm going to go vertical on this. I think I have a vertical bracket. I don't know if I have the... See, I don't want to use my old one. I got a cable mod one on my old one, and you can use that one if I wanted to. But I kind of like the link-up cable brand ones, and I think I have a link-up, but if I don't, I won't do it. I don't know. I'd make up my mind, but we'll see in the next scene or two. But, alright, so that's how I'm progressing so far. It's looking pretty good, though, huh? Look at that. See, I'm actually in no rush for this. Right now I have, of course, Windows 11's on it, and everything's installed and activated, blah, blah, blah. But I've got a long ways to go since this is my personal computer. I've got like all kinds of apps and shit to install. I got to install Photoshop still, Adobe Premiere. I got to install Adobe Rush. I got to blah blah blah, all this shit. I just got finished installing Office on here, Office 365. Excuse me. At least that didn't take too long to do. And then shit. But yeah, it's going to be a long progress thing here. So I'm actually kind of in no rush to do this build. I have my old computer over here. But I think what I'm going to do is after I film the back part with the RGB and stuff, I think I'm going to tuck it all back under. And I'm actually going to switch the computers out. Because like I said, I want the power supply from this one to go somewhere else. And I'm going to take my old power supply for that. And anyways, I want to switch these out, but I want to make that as pain-free as possible because I still got to pull another M.2 out of the old motherboard in that one, and that one's already mounted vertically and blah, blah, blah. But anyways, I'm going to first finish watching Planet of the Apes here, as you can see up on the screen. I'm going to finish watching that movie, and then I'll probably get back to this. It's Thanksgiving, so I really don't care, but let's cut this scene and go to the next one. All right, so it's been a couple days, actually, because I finished this actually on Thanksgiving, and I've been playing around with it, of course, because it's my own machine, and running some stuff on it and testing it out and what have you. But I figure I'll start here, and I guess I'll let you see it. I guess this is like about the best way I know how, because my dang boom camera right here doesn't stretch in close to see it. But if I go this way, we can see it. But yeah, here's the case over here. You can see all the RGB and stuff on there. It's all synchronized. Everything's Corsair. Of course, but then of course you've got the streamers going on here. Looks pretty neat here. I guess with this view, you can kind of see the rest of my my office setup here. My coffee over there. You can see a couple security cameras over there. You can see a couple monitors here that I use, and then right over here is another monitor which is turned off right now. It's actually how I kind of run everything here. That way it lets me switch in between when I'm doing different computers. I have a KVM switch actually set up over there. Here's actually my old computer that I was working on. I have it set up a little bit different now. I had to do a little bit of a jerry rig to get it going because this was mounted vertically. But I'll be tearing this one down and building something else out of parts that are inside. And of course, I'll save that for another video, some other project or something. Always gives me content to do. I can probably do a couple different computers out of all this old stuff. But anyways, I am so happy with the performance on the Ryzen 7700X here. Especially like when it comes to like emulation with like Winbox. That's fun. I mean, if you looked on my channel here, you might see the last couple of videos I did were actually Winbox things. First video was actually using the old 2700X, and I was able to get about a 166 megahertz. But with the Ryzen, this one, oh man, I can crank it up to like about 350, 400 on the CPU emulation, and it's not too bad. Anyways, so yeah. Anyways, let's take a look at a couple numbers here that I actually got when I did a couple different tests on this machine. So let's cut this scene here and get to that. Okay, so we can get you a better look at the thing because my camera sucks when it comes to doing these live and looking at the RGB. We'll take you to the builds GG here, and I'll go through the images a little bit sharper picture looking there, and of course you can see the RGB on this a lot better than what I can show you live. Let's go to the next scene here. You can see that strip at the bottom that I was talking about, the streamers. Really, really cool looking here. I decided not to mount this vertically. Just because I think you get a little bit more reliability going directly into the board, being plugged in, than you do using those extension cables, and I just didn't really feel like doing that on my own personal build. I haven't done the glass peel yet. I probably won't. I'll probably just leave it like that. Let's go back to this picture. Yeah, I love this Capellix. It's a really neat looking colors that it puts out there. But anyways, that's pretty much it there. Let's look at some stats here. We'll start with Cinebench. On the multi-core, it scored a 19,286, which is, insanely high.
On the single core, it scored a 1,977. Pretty good. Decent, huh? On Unigine Heaven, I just did a standard 1080p 2x anti-aliasing, no Teslization. Scored a 315 frames per second with a max of 626. Didn't really care to test 4K or stuff like that because I'm not really a gamer. But I do use it for like rendering and stuff like that. Like a couple of the scenes that I did here, using like Premiere and what have you that I rendered, not for this video. Well, this one too. I mean, I'll use it for that. But yeah, I mean, it just whipped it out so quick, and I was like, wow. Speaking of which, looking at my right here, crystal disk mark on my M.2 drive, 5,000 on the read, 4,300 on the write. I was like, wow, that's pretty impressive. And I did a file transfer. I have actually a couple of M.2s in here, to my second drive, which was pulling in 4,800 on the read and 27 on the write. And I did a file transfer between the two drives to see what kind of speed it was going at. And 1.38 gigabytes a second is what it was transferring at when I was transferring a Monterey ISO over from one NVMe to the next. I was like, damn, that was nice, you know? So I'm absolutely impressed with my own new upgrade. Let's see, we'll go to the task manager here and do like I usually do, and we'll show you the stats on this. CPU, of course, is the AMD Ryzen 7 7700X. Memory, I am running 64 gigs of the Corsair Vengeance RGB in here. 5200 megahertz speed. Disk 0 on one SSD this is my backup drive. This is a 512 gig one that I use for playing around with other operating systems on and testing other stuff on and stuff like that. Disk 1 is the main drive, which of course is a 2 terabyte Crucial. Was it P3? Crucial P3 is what I'm using in here. Yeah. And then, of course, the GeForce is the RTX 3070. I figured, you know, I was going to go with a 3060 and focus more like on the RGB, but I decided to bump it up to a 3070 and just kind of just because of the processing in the card. Like I said, not because I'm a gamer. It just made more sense to me to go with the 3070 for long term. Because, you know, like I said, my first, this last upgrade that I did took me in, you know, what, 3-4 years worth of use. So, you know, hoping to get that much out of this one. From what I understand, AMD is going to support the AM5 platform up until 2025. So that's another 3 years. Maybe there's something else I might be able to throw in here in the meantime when they'll come out with. That's the latest and the greatest that I can afford. Who knows? I guess we'll see, right? I honestly, I see on Reddit a lot of these guys are talking about, well, I want this set up and I'm buying this and this and this, and they're staying with kind of like the AMD AM4 5000 series stuff. And I'm not saying that's a bad idea, but I think if you're like on the 3000 series, it just makes more sense to just move over to the AM5 platform. But I don't know. I guess if you can't afford it, you can't afford it. But yeah, I'm babbling again, and it looks like I need to end this video. But we're gonna call this one good. We'll have another one coming out. Couple more coming out whenever I get to them, whenever I get around to them. I will see you guys all in the next video. I'm going to enjoy mine for a while. I think I'm going to go play some more You Don't Know Jack. I love that game. Maybe some Ace Ventura. I actually love playing the older stuff on the emulated stuff, actually, over having a high-powered computer, which I use actually mainly for other stuff besides gaming. But yeah, all right. So that's going to be it for this, guys. I'll see you in the next build, next video, whatever that is. I'll talk to you later. Everybody have a great night. Bye-bye.